Happy motherfucking New Year, man. Welcome back to Wayward's podcast, First Yap of 2025. Happy to be here, happy to be alive, grateful, all that shit, okay? How was my New Year's? Let me think. Christmas was good. My parents were here. I have not seen my parents. Well, rewind. I have not seen my dad in 4 years. I was in complete shock. So this was a surprise for my 30th birthday. But they just couldn't come until like a couple days before Christmas. So I'm over here eating breakfast. I'm making pancakes, banana pancakes. So I'm just over here, you know what I mean? And then obviously the door opens or whatever. And my dad turns around the corner. Insert clip of my reaction, because I was literally shocked. Like I had zero words. I couldn't even like fathom what the hell was going on right now. And then my mum walked through, which I'm so grateful that I was able to see my mum last year. But again, being able to see her this year, like for me, being able to see my parents or my mum, for example, in a 1 year span is like not really heard of for me. And so being able to see my mum and then my dad, who I haven't seen in 4 years, it was a very emotional, very happy time for me. But yeah, you saw the clip of my reaction. Like I was in shock. Like I didn't know how to process it, because I just really was not expecting that to walk through at 10 a.m. in the morning, my parents from the other side of the world, right? So that was a great ending to my 2024. They were here until the beginning of January. So I haven't spent a New Year's with my parents in about 8 years. So to also have them for New Year's was just like, bro, gratitude to the highest. I was treated, okay? Your girl was spoiled. I had not one parent, but two, okay? For Christmas and New Year's. So that was great. And then they left, and then something horrific happened in LA, which was the fires, which I know everyone in the world has seen. And that was devastating, and it was heartbreaking, and it was just really scary, like, to be honest. Where I live, and I've explained this on my Instagram, but where I live, I'm right in the middle. And so I was able to see the Hollywood Hills. I was able to see the Palisades fire. I was able to see the Kenneth fire. I was able to see some fires in Selma. So all in all, it was really scary for a point in time. Now, I'm extremely fortunate and grateful that I wasn't in any of these areas where the fire actually, destroyed their homes, which I'm super grateful for. But it is so sad to know that to this day, guys, it is to this day still going. And I think that is just fucking terrible. Like, I could go on and on about where the fuck our government's at and why things aren't happening, but I'm not going to. But all in all, it's been terrible. So 2025 started like that in LA. So my heart goes out to everybody. Thankful for my job, and we're doing donations, and we are offering volunteer support and all that type of stuff. So I'm really grateful to be able to be a part of that. But nonetheless, happy motherfucking New Year, man. New Year be to me. That's what I like to say. So we have an agenda today. It is titled First Yap of 2025. Again, I've made a promise to myself that I need to do more of just me talking. I have a great lineup of interviewees that I'm interviewing throughout this year, and I'm super excited. So just to give you a little bit of a taste, a little bit of a taste tester of the top people that I've got coming on, fam. And they're going to be talking and just, talking about their life and what they do and their passions and their purpose and their impact and whatever the fuck. We have influencers, we have entrepreneurs, we have creatives, people that run their own clothing business, their own people that impact the community, people that are involved in the news and film and everything like that. Also people that are just bosses. You feel me? Bosses. And one thing that I like to pride myself in is I try to give people their flowers now, and like I'm not a hater, bro. Like, I'm not a hater. And if I see you doing your thing, because I know how it be out there. Like, I know how it is sometimes out there, like, especially back home. Especially in New Zealand, where we have the tall poppy syndrome. And even out here in America, where I would say it's a lot better. You don't feel as, like, when I talk about tall poppy syndrome and how it feels back home sometimes, it can feel like you feel bad for being successful. You might feel ashamed that you are working towards these big goals and these big dreams, and you're doing these things right. Sometimes you can just feel like it's like shame a little bit, and like people like taking the piss out of you. Now, I'm not saying everybody, but that just is the pressure sometimes that it feels like being back home. Okay, and that's how I felt like growing up. And so all of this to say, when I see someone doing their thing, man, and whatever it is, whatever field it is, and I mess with you, and I really like see that, I'm never going to be a hater, bro. I'm going to give the flowers when it's due. And these people that I'm bringing on this year are people that I've met on social media, people that I know from back home, people that are like family, people that are friends, people that I genuinely like am inspired by, look up to, and that's the type of environment that I actively try and cultivate to myself. I try and surround myself with people that are doing some shit, putting people on, doing dope stuff, like creating dope stuff. And that's really like, when I look at this podcast and what I want it to be and how I want to mold it and how I want to grow it, how I want to shape it, I want to give these people a platform. I want to show other people that it's okay to be you, first and foremost. It's okay to be you. It's okay to be loud. It's okay to dream big. It's okay to do all these things. And it's also like my due diligence to celebrate those things, right? And to shine light on those things, right? Because that's just who I am as a person, like outside of all this stuff. Like, I never shy away. When I see success, bro, that gets me amped up. It gets me excited. It gets me inspired, because if I know someone else has done it, in the midst of it, that means I can too. And that is just like a big thing for me, bro. A big philosophy I live by. It's like, I just never hate the next person. And like, hate is so easy nowadays. It's so easy to hate on somebody. It's so easy to talk down on somebody, bro. But why can't you like give people their props? Like, why can't you be you and those people be successful and it be okay? Like, there's enough room for every goddamn body. There's enough success, there's enough money, there's enough light, there's enough shine, there's so much more shit out there that everyone can be a part of. Everyone get a piece of the pie, right? Because when you really think about hate and like and tall poppy syndrome, where that stems down from, bro, it's a reflection of them. It's a projection on themselves, right? They don't believe they can do it, and if they can't do it, no one else can do it. And that's just like the most terriblest, don't know if that's an English word, terriblest mindset to have. I'm speaking gems, and that wasn't even my like, it wasn't on the agenda. That wasn't on the agenda, but like I said, I can yap, and we can deep dive. You feel me? We can deep dive. Anywho, that is why I'm so excited about this year and what I got planned for this podcast, bro, because I'm putting it out in the universe and manifesting. I'm bringing people in. I'm showing people my circle and who I know, and who I've had the pleasure of meeting. And I'm excited for you guys to meet these people. And you might not be excited as me, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyways. Okay? One of my friends told me, she was like, I interviewed her last year, and the interview might never drop, but she's one of my closest friends back home, and like I love her to death. But one thing she had said about me, which like really stuck with me, was like, she's like, you're not afraid to just do something. Like, when you're not afraid if it fails, you're not afraid if nothing happens from it, like you're just gonna do it. And she's like, I respect that about you. And you know what? Hell yeah. You know what? Motherfucker, hell yeah. Because what is the worst thing that's going to happen? It fails. Oh, wow. I learn, I grow, and I move on. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that is... I go off in tangents all the time. That is the podcast. Okay? That's the podcast. Another thing on the agenda. Hey, TikTok's back, man. TikTok's back. The thing about me is I can be transparent and honest. I was one of them people. I love TikTok. See, I can openly admit it. So many people talking down about TikTok, this and that, third. Yes, I know. If we're going to get serious and down to it, the data thing, yappity yap. I understand. But at this point, guys, fucking random people in Russia have our data. I'm sorry. Meta, Facebook, everyone has already collected your data. Okay, and they're already selling it and they're already shipping it off to every company that you don't know about and do know about, and that's just what it is. I'm sorry to break it to you, but TikTok was not the one doing that. And if we're gonna be frank, okay, if we're gonna be real, if we're gonna be really, really real, America is just mad because they don't own TikTok. I'm sorry. Like, Meta's doing the same thing. Everyone's doing the same thing, but they mad because what? It's a Chinese company? Next. Okay. Anywho. I'm excited TikTok's back because another goal of mine, I really wanna build on there, bro. Why not? I'm seeing people change their lives every goddamn day. You know what? Being themselves. And again, something I pride myself in, bro. I'm so just about being me, and to see other people on TikTok being themselves, bro, and getting paid for it, shit. Sign me up. I'm not ashamed to say it. Sign me up. I just think anything can happen on there. I think anything in this day and age in social media, anything can happen. And the only way you're not going to get a part of that if you just don't try. And so fuck it. I'm trying this year. Okay? I'm trying. Okay. Taking things off the agenda. So yes. Happy New Year. TikTok is back. Now, there's some podcast updates, so we love that. But also some things I wanted to deep dive about that I haven't really deep dived about yet has been my little hobbies, my little side quests that I be doing, and that's reading. Now, if I put you on to some books, you know, bro, we get down, we get diggity down, we get to it. And I know this might be boring for some of you that don't like it, but for all my people out there that love fantasy, well, I'm a huge fantasy sci-fi person. Always have been since my mom read me Harry Potter when I was like 6, 7, right? When I used to wait for the 12 a.m. premiere of Twilight. Yeah, I was one of them. Yup. If you remember when they used to do the midnight screening, that was me, bro. I was lined up. Bella. You know, Team Edward, Team Jacob, like, you know, it is what it is. So I wanted to talk about my little sort of journey on that because I used to be an avid reader in high school. Like, I was that girl in class that would be reading and like have to put my book away. Like, that was me. And that's not me trying to be like a pick me. No. I'm just giving you facts. Like, that was just me as a person. Like, I read. Quick story time. My arm sleeve, all the Egyptian stuff, was actually a thought of mine that started that grew from high school because I read the Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, by the author of Da Vinci Code, right? That's the second book, Angels and Demons. And that book inspired me so much to the point I got a motherfucking Egyptian sleeve. Like, so I just wanted to let you guys know, like, this reading shit is like my reading lore is so deep and so real. We got a sleeve low key to represent it because that book had such an impact on my life. Like, I remember reading it in seventh form, which is like senior year in America. My brain was mind blowing. It really dove deep into like life and the purpose of life. So it just blew my brain because I'm like, bro, that really could be possible type shit. Anyways, so just want you to know, like, it's really real. Okay. But so then I stopped sort of reading after high school because I came to college, played basketball, and that was like a whirlwind for 5 years. And I just honestly didn't have time. And then about 2 years ago, I dove back into my reading journey and I started with Ekata. Now, if you know, you know. Okay? All my Sarah J. Maas girls, you know. Like, Sarah J. Maas is really that girl. Those books are really them. Like, when I tell you, if you have not read them, go to Barnes & Nobles, go to Whitcoulls, go to Walmart, go wherever, and get those books right now. Those will get you back in the swing of reading. If you've never read a lick before, those books is what I recommend every single time. When someone comes to me like, oh my God, right, what should I read first? I recommend those. And shout out to my girl, Nikita. She put me on. Because here I am, not reading, and I'm scrolling through, and I see her post. And I'm like, bro, I keep seeing people post about it. Because that wasn't the first time I seen it, but like, I trust my girl, and I love her. And you know what? She's going to get on this podcast one day, too. Because she's a goat. Anyways, anyways, so I see her, I'm like, I'm like, messaging my girl, what are these books, bro? I keep seeing them. Boom, bam, puts me on. I buy them things that same day. I buy the first book. By 90, I would say 50 pages in, hooked. Read all 5 books. Read all 5 books in less than 2 weeks. That's how much like I just ate it up. You know what I mean? ate those 5 books up in 2 weeks. Like, I'm telling you, I'm reading till 4 a.m. I'm reading till, like, people mad at me, like, oh my god, you reading? Yeah, I am reading the book, and what? The shit's good as fuck. Storyline plot good as fuck. You know what I mean? So that's really restarted my fantasy reading. Now, prior to that, I mean, I was into Game of Thrones. I read some Game of Thrones book. I read all the House of Dragon books, right? Blood and Fire. Like, I read all of that stuff. To the point, bro, before I dove into ACOTAR and back on my reading journey, I still am. I'm a heavy Game of Thrones gal. Heavy Lord of the Rings. Heavy Harry Potter, which you would know because I've done episodes with my girl Lisa about it. Heavy Twilight. Like, that's really my realm, bro. I love different worlds like that. And I recently got into Dune, which we'll touch on. But what I'm trying to say is I went to a LA convention for Game of Thrones. I think 3 years ago now. Fire. Yeah, I paid hard-earned money to go to a damn convention. I was not in a costume. I didn't take it that far just because I just didn't have time to really think about that. But convention, tough. So far. So that was all leading up to me rereading ACOTAR, right? So not rereading, but starting ACOTAR. Like, I was already getting my feet back into the sci-fi world, the fantasy world, because, you know, we love Game of Thrones. So anyways, read ACOTAR, love that. Read Sarah J Maas's third series, Crescent City, but technically I tell people to read that second, because it correlates with ACOTAR so well. They marry together so well. It makes more sense to go, in my opinion, ACOTAR, Crescent City, then Throne of Glass series, which technically is her first series she ever wrote, right? She wrote Throne of Glass, she wrote ACOTAR, and then she wrote Crescent City. But I like to do ACOTAR first, Crescent City, then and that's how I've told people to read it. I just think it translates better, and that's just my opinion. So boom, again, ate through that. Crescent City gets so much heat, and like after ACOTAR, people have struggled to read it. But this is one thing you gotta understand about fantasy worlds and fantasy books. Let these authors world build, bro. What is world building? Building the world in the book. You've got to let it happen. Like, how are you supposed to set the scene and develop these characters and set the plot without understanding the universe and the world and what happens in the universe and said world? You know what I mean? So, Crescent City catches heat, but I don't understand why. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And you'll understand by the third book why you even thoroughly enjoy it more. Okay? Then I read Throne of Glass series, and that thing is 7 books. Again, I can't remember because it's been like some time now, a year or two since I read them. So I think these 7 or 8 books. Yeah, 8 books. 8 books, I think. Lord. Again, ate those things up too. Ate those 8 books up to the point where I try to prolong the books because I knew it was coming to an end, and she wasn't releasing any other books. Like, so I'm just like, bro, I don't want this to end. I don't want the series to end. Me over here being a crack fiend. Read that, ate that up. That was fire. I mean, it was great. And then after that, I went straight to Fourth Wing, which so excited about. Shout out to my girl Lisa. She got me the Fourth Wing book for my birthday, my 29th birthday. Ate that thing up in less than a week. Ate that thing up. It was too good. Then we got Iron Flame, the second book in that series. Eaten, devoured, okay, too good. And now in one day, which probably when this podcast drops, it would already be out, and I might already be finished the book, but Onyx Storm, the third book, the most anticipated, one of the most anticipated reads of 2025 is dropping, and I'm so excited, right? And so those are some fantasy books, and a lot of these books, guys, like ACOTAR is about fae, or for little terms, fairies, okay, fairies, and I know it sounds But guys, I'm telling you, you gotta read it. I'm not about to spoil nothing here. These fays are gangster. Like grata-ta-ta, bow 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 type of gangster. But with swords and shit. And I love the fantasy of it, and like it's like enemies to lovers type of thing, which is fire. Like that always. Hey, I'm sorry, but that plot line's always gonna hit. A little enemies to lover romance is always gonna hit. So there's that. And then you have the fourth wing that's about dragons, and we love a good dragon. You know what I mean? Shout out to Game of Thrones. We love a good dragon. Can't be mad at that. So that's sort of all intertwined as the fourth wing. And then fast forward, I read a lot of books in between there, but I'm not going to go down a whole list. I'm just talking about like the ones that really stood out and that I know are popular, and things that will just like, if you want to start your reading journey, these are going to get you locked in. However, I want to talk about what I started reading this year, because after many of books, like after that I read a bunch more, but I took a little break over the Christmas period, holiday period, and then for my 30th birthday, I decided to spoil myself and get this book, because I've been wanting to read this for a minute. I had other things going on, bro. I switched stores, where I work, etc. I just didn't have time. But we read this. It's The Serpent and the Wings of Night. And a quick thing, this is about a vampire and a human. Fire. A bit of how, again, enemies to lover type of thing. Also fantasy. But it's also reminds me of like Hunger Games a little bit, which is love Hunger Games. 10 out of 10 motherfucking recommend. Okay, and then after that they have a second book. Fire. Again, I ate these up like it was nothing. Ate these up. Now, this also has a standalone book that is about a character in this, but it's just about her and her journey. And so I need to read that. I just haven't bought it yet because I've been, oh my God, been reading other things, doing other things. But I really need to read that one because the series is amazing. Then after that, we read this. 10 out of 10. Love it. Again, fantasy. This is about, what does she do? I forgot what she is. It is fantasy, but what is she? I forgot. She can like bring back the dead and like talk to the dead and stuff. It's a little horror. It's a little, these devils in it and stuff. So that's not really your cup of tea. It doesn't like talk about anything. They're just things in there. But it's about like playing this huge game. It's in a phantasma. It's called the Phantasma House or whatever, the Phantasma game. Sorry, the details elude me. But and then she meets this phantom ghost and yada yada yada. Things happen. She finds out more about her life, and it's really great. Okay, again, sort of like a little romance in there, little heated stuff in there. But the second book to this comes out, which I'm super excited this year also. So this is great. And then guys, and then my mother went ahead and gifted me for Christmas the Discovery of Witches trilogy. Holy moly. No fucking words for this series, guys. I just finished the first book last night. I'm currently reading the second. I stayed up till like 2 a.m. last night, just like, you know what I mean? Wow. And it is a TV series, and I've seen the TV. I haven't seen the TV. Sorry. I haven't watched the TV series, but I have seen the them promoting the TV series. So I am so excited to read the books and then be able to dive into the live action of it and see how, you know what I mean? See how one goes into the other. I'm so excited because, guys, when I tell you this is the Discoveries of Witches, little synopsis is about a witch. So in this world, these witches, demons, and vampires, and humans, obviously, but the humans, like the witches and the demons and the vampires, they don't like to be around each other. They're very separate, and they're also not allowed to intermingle with each other, right? Marry, have babies, or whatever. There's something called the congregation that sort of separates all that and makes sure that everyone stays in their category, stays in line, doesn't intermingle. Now the main witch, she has come from a lineage of very, very, very powerful witches. However, her parents binded her in a magic up, so people could not really know how powerful she is, right? And her parents end up dying. Anyways, she has all these powers, like real powerful type of powers that when people start getting a whiff, other creatures start getting a whiff of the type of her power. I mean, they're on a mad hunt. They're on a mad hunt. Sorry, quick intermission because my dogs wanted to bark. But they're on a hunt because she ended up by accident retrieving this book because she's a historian and she was just looking through books for her, what she was doing for her job at Oxford. She's a history teacher, history professor. And this very, very powerful book came to her and she actually broke the spell by accident. She didn't know. Right? So then when creatures get a whiff that she was able to draw from that, because no one has been able to draw that book for like centuries, like years and years and years, they're all after her. And it's about the story of her and this vampire that obviously fall in love, and so obviously breaking all the rules. And it is phenomenal. It is literally phenomenal. The plot, the world, oh my god, it is easily getting into my top 3 series that I've ever read to date. It is absolutely phenomenal. So there's a trilogy of the Discovery of Witches, which I'm assuming is about Matthew and Diana, who are the main characters, those 3, right? And then there's 2 other books, and so after that I don't know what those 2 other books are about, but it is sort of tied into this world. So I'm just extremely excited about that. So that is what I've been devouring currently, and I'm just lost in the sauce, guys. Like, I'm lost in the sauce. I'm reading at my lunch break, I'm reading in the morning, I'm reading like, it has just devoured my brain, and I'm here for it. So these are other things. Moving on to like TV series and stuff that I've been watching. I've started Outlander. Okay, I know you guys are probably mad at me. Outlander came out like 2015. Yeah, I'm late to the party. There's too many things I want to watch, read, and I just don't have time because I'm doing other things that I also need to do, you know what I mean, to just like propel my growth into this world. And so I just watch when I can. But Outlander's so far so good, amazing actually. I'm on season 2. I love it. Outlander is about a woman that actually time travels. Well, she has a husband, right? Has a husband in the 20th century. They go to these rocks. He's a historian, so they go to these rocks or whatever. She accidentally time travels back into the 17th century, I think. And it's about her and her journey and the Scottish man she ends up marrying, right? And her current husband in the 20th century is English and is actually a descendant of a really terrible person from the 17th century that she actually meets. So she meets her husband's ancestors. And this is a really interesting story, but I love it. So good. Highly recommend if you have not watched Outlander. 10 out of 10. Now, I understand everything that I've mentioned right now has been 10 out of 10s across the board, but I'm sorry that everything is fire. Like, I don't make the rules here, okay? I really don't make the rules. I also just have exquisite taste, and if I know what I like, and when I find something that I like, I find everything that's fire in that genre, and it's just a downward slope of amazingness for me. You know what I mean? So there's that. I said I was on season 2 of that. Yes. Other things that I finished and watched over this holiday period was Dune Prophecy. I'm gonna hold my hand when I tell you this. I started Dune late. I know, guys. Sorry again. Too much stuff I want to do, read, and I just don't have enough time. Started the Dune series late. I actually started watching the movies middle of last year. Like, watched the movies. Those were absolutely amazing. Bought the first Dune book. Read a little bit of it, but got carried away with other things, other books. It's because I had just like freshly watched the movies that it's hard for me to then reread things that I already know it's going to happen. So I'm giving myself some space for that universe because I want my mind to forget a little bit. Once I get through everything else and all the other things I have on my list that I want to read, I will pick up the Dune books and I will 100% read them because the movies are exquisite. They're exquisite. I love it so much. I love the universe. I love the lore. I love what's going on. So I must read those books to get an in-depth understanding, you know? So there's that. Dune. Okay, but then Dune Prophecy came out in November. For anyone that doesn't know about what Dune is or Dune Prophecy, Dune is a universe in the future. Pretty much they had a whole war with like AI and robots and like technology and shit. So like technology is like forbidden, right? And there's all these different planets and there's all these different houses and noble houses or whatever with all these different people. So anyways, it's about someone that's being prophesized as like a messiah. That's Paul Atreides. That's about him. That's what the Dune movies are about, right? And in this universe, because there's no technology, there's no computers anymore, what has actually happened is humans have evolved to have a lot of these characteristics, right? A lot of these characteristics of computers, right? Like they do all these, I don't want to explain it. I don't know how I'm just can't explain it. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. But anyways, humans have evolved to pretty much imitate technology and things like that. So there's all these different, what we call them, all these different groups of people, and one of them is called the Bene Gesserits. The Bene Gesserits are women, famously just only women, and they call them truth sayers, right? Like each noble house gets sent a truth sayer, and these women can like tell if someone's lying. They have the power to control people and what they want to do. They've also had a hand in controlling breeding, and they want to be able to breed certain houses together to eventually get like certain things out of the world and certain alliances and certain things to happen, right? They understand that by breeding certain DNAs together, they could get this, that, and the third. So they control, manipulate a lot of what's going on in this universe, but they act like they don't, right? But like they do. Like they act like they're behind the shadows, but really they end up oh my God, sorry. They are the puppeteers of this world, and they're controlling, manipulating shit, right? So boom. Dune Prophecy is about the Bene Gesserits. It is about how they came about. It's about the origin. It's about how they started becoming puppeteers, how they manipulate these great houses. It's about them, and they are a very interesting group. And that again goes back to why I love Dune, the Dune universe, because it is so in-depth and so not complicated, but so intriguing. So Dune Prophecy was about that. It was about 10,000 years before. It was set in 10,000 years before the current movies. So you get to really see these noble houses and how things happen and the Bene Gesserits and all these things, right? Amazing. It was amazing. The TV show was only 6 episodes, which, if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to fight HBO because I'm tired of these 8 episodes, 6 episodes. Like, what the fuck, bro? And then I'm not going to get the next season for another 2 years. Like, I hate it here, bro. I really hate it here. That's how it is with House of Dragon. Like, I hate it here. Please. Anyway, so Dune Prophecy was 10 out of 10 amazing. Cinematography, the acting, the plot was so fire. The way it ended, like, I love it. Can't wait for season 2. Whew. So those are things that I have been watching, been reading, how I started my 2025 off, things that I've got planned for this podcast, people I'm interviewing, and all in all, to end this first 2025 Yap session. Anything is possible. You can do anything in this world if you want it to be, and what you mostly have to be is intentional. Again, someone very close to me, right? Last year, it was like, how are you moving with intention? What are you doing every single day that's getting you close to what you want? How are you being intentional, bro? Are you waking up in the morning and being intentional with your morning, your afternoon, your night? How are you proceeding your days to your weeks? Because they all add up. The 1%, bro, add up to the 100%. And it's what you're doing every single day. And so I hope you guys set out your intentions, your goals. I'm a big person that's about that. I know a lot of people think goals are redundant at the beginning of the year. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm still going to write my goals regardless. And those could be the same goals I had last year. They could be things that I was working on since last year. But I'm still going to write some goddamn goals down. Because I don't know about you, but it does feel like a fresh start when the new year starts. And, you know, it's not bad to start the year off like that. Like, I know people are like, wow, if it takes the new year for you to do something, then let's say something. Man, hush, and pipe down. If it takes someone the beginning of the year to want to get this shit together, then so be it. If it takes you too much to get your shit together, so be it. But I think it's important to, like, speak out loud what you want for this year and to write things down what you want for this year. The next step, though, the most important step is to take action and actually be intentional, Can't just write some shit down and think it's gonna poof happen and magic, right? And just happen right then and there. No, be intentional. So here I am being intentional. Every single day I've got things that I want to do, right? I listed my goals down, and the most important thing that I do with my goals every single year is I write how. I write my goals down, then underneath it, I put how. And I talk about how I'm going to get to these goals. And those things are things that I need to do every single day, every single week to equate to these sow seed goals that I want. Sow seed things that I want. And that's sort of what I do a bit differently. So here it is to one of my goals, which was to talk a little bit more, other than interviews, which I love interviews, but to talk a little bit more, because that's what this whole podcast is about, right? It's motherfucking yapping and talking and sharing things that I like, and maybe it resonates and hits with somebody, maybe it doesn't. But nonetheless, I'm still posting regardless, because you know what? Like I said earlier, I don't give a fuck. If this shit fails, this shit's successful, either way, I'm still going to do it. So that's what I'm doing to conclude this episode. Thank you for watching. If you did watch all the way to the end, shout out to you. That's real gang. That's real gang in them. Bow, 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 bow type shit. But have a great week. See you next episode.